근데 통역 We don't know yet.
Sinan, you might want to consider getting a better microphone. You don't sound like your normal charming self.
Oh, Master, sorry.
Your voice is quite different.
네.
Yeah, get a better microphone, okay?
Yes, boss. 통역 고르시는 거 혹시 질문 있으신 분 손 들어보세요. 다 되셨어요? 그리고 일선 씨는 음속으로 좀 눌러놓으시면 안 될까요? 음속으로 누르지 않으면 자본 때문에 영화 스님 잘 안 들리고요. 진복 씨 참선하는데 너무 시끄럽게 많이 하셨는데 다음부터는 좀 음속으로 좀 눌러주세요.
You normally speak that fast, or are you just excited today that we have a Chan class together?
I'm excited today.
I see.
Sorry.
Okay. Nothing to sorry about. You excited? You excited. Yeah. Okay. Are we okay? I'm glad that we are together again, and so we decided to try the additional translation features of Zoom that apparently everyone is using in Asia. So let's try it for a while and see if it happens. Okay. Hello, everyone. I gotta hit this thing. There you go. Procedure. How is everyone? Thank you all for joining us. Do we have any outstanding questions or issues that we couldn't discuss the last time? No? Okay. Then we're ready to tackle new issues. Okay. I don't know about you, but I've been watching the Olympics, believe it or not, off and on. Okay, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed at the results of last week. I brought up that the archery team from South Korea won the gold for archery team, individual as well as mixed team Olympic. And it's interesting to me because I look at the photos of the archers who won the gold. I noticed that they all have a lot of samadhi power. Okay, in particular, I'm looking at especially the mixed team here, where I have a photo, I don't know, you can see this, of the young man who's, I believe he's 17 or 19 years old, taking a shot, shooting, and his teammate, An San, was right behind him. Okay, this is what I call cheating. You know why? It's because when you clearly they all have concentration power. They all have samadhi. Okay, these the Olympics interest me because almost all of the winners have samadhi power. All the champions, Olympic champions, have samadhi power. Okay, so it's not surprising because nowadays when you go into sports performance, all these athletes, when they reach a certain level, they need to go into sports psychology where they actually learn meditation. And that's what intrigues me, is that these people, they all have concentration power across various sports fields. So it's how pervasive meditation is. Okay, and it turns out that the photo I'm looking at, the mixed team Olympic archery that wins the gold, Ansan is 20 years old, I believe, and the other young man is 17 or 19. So he's a teenager, and they win gold. You see, I don't know about you, but when I was 20 or 19, I was so confused. So to see this is so impressive to me. And it turns out that I see that Ansan actually is assisting the young man as well. So when you have concentration, you're in a team environment, you actually are able to assist each other, okay? You add more concentration. At least you're not creating distractions for your teammate, all right? And so that's fascinating to me. And also, recently I'm told that there's a young Chinese lady, Chinese girl who's into platform diving, and she does diving from a platform very tall, very high up in the air, and she did like 2 consecutive perfect 10s, which is amazing for a 14-year-old. So I took a look at her again. I saw concentration power, okay, at a 14-year-old. Okay, it's so impressive. And it dawned on me that all these athletes, all their training technology is basically Hinayana. The sports psychologists, their training is Hinayana meditation, mindfulness meditation as we call it in the West. And it's a rather coarse form of meditation training techniques in Buddhism. And my prediction is that in the future, within 5 or 10 years, the top athletes will have to turn to Mahayana meditation to reach a higher level of performance, because all of these athletes are stuck at low levels of samadhis. And pretty soon, these words will get out, and these top-tier athletes who had to find a better form of meditation technique, it has to come to us. Okay, that's my prediction. Okay, and I'm available before I'm too old and lose interest. Okay, so all of you rich athletes, give me a call. All right, thank you. That concludes our commercial portion of the program. Anyone has any questions or comments to discuss? Okay, today is going to be a very short session. No questions at all. You know why I'm doing this, by the way? I have plenty of very competent disciples who are perfectly qualified to teach you. Okay, and then why am I doing this? I'm doing this for 2 reasons. Number one is to continue to train my teaching disciple, my instructor disciples. They are qualified, but they can still improve their techniques. Okay, teaching techniques are number one. Number two is also that to help you speed up your progress a little bit, so that because eventually I will reach a point where I will probably don't have time to do this anymore. So I'm trying to do as much as I can. Okay, and so that's a tip for you. When you meditate, find someone who's better than you to benefit from that person's higher samadhi power. You sit along those people, then your progress tends to be a little bit faster. The next thing that you might want to pay attention to is the environment. Okay? For example, if you go, yes? Question online? How come you have to raise your hand? I don't see anything.
본 적이 없습니다.
Two small things. The yellow, is that the lotus thing?
이 노란색이
Okay. Can we then have like something to signal me that I have besides your hand? Okay. So can I finish my point and I pick up the question? I forgot what my point was. Okay, let's go to the question. Nothing important. Go ahead, questioner.
길게 앉을수록 좋다고 하셔서 가능하면 길게 앉으려고 노력하고 있습니다. 얼마나 길게 앉는 것이 좋은지 또 얼마나 자주 길게 앉아야 좋은 것인지 잘 모르겠습니다. 길게 앉으려고 노력할 때 특별히 주의해야 할 것이 있는지요?
혹시 일단 음성으로 좀 켜주세요. 우리 질문 다른 사람 하실 때 키면 소음 때문에 안 들리거든요. 네. 잘 안 들렸어요. 잘 천천히 하면 다.
길게 앉으려고 노력하고 있는 중인데요. 얼마나 길게 또 얼마나 자주 길게 앉아야 좋은 것인지 특별히 주의할 것이 있는지 여쭙고 싶습니다.
So master instructed us to sit longer. She was wondering how long is the long enough and how often.
Okay, very good. Sit longer is the Chinese words of wisdom. Okay, you learn to do Chan meditation. There's a saying in Chinese, 久坐生禅. The longer you sit, the longer sits will produce samadhi. Okay, 久坐生禅. This I find that to be a very, very good rule of thumb for all practitioners at all levels. Okay, you sit longer. Longer in English is longer than before. That's simple. You sit longer and longer and longer. Why so? There is a secret behind it that the Chinese style of teaching, that unless you do it, you will not find out why. So we should all be very grateful that the Chinese patriarchs who taught give us those instructions. And I looked out myself because that's what I did initially. When I first started, I sat longer and longer, contrary to the beliefs here in the West, where in modern times we're limited by time, so we cannot afford to sit longer and longer. Okay, so this is, but I managed to be able to sit longer and longer. So in my early years, I tried to sit longer and longer whenever possible. Okay, so I used to maintain, and I encourage you to do this. Sit every day for 1 hour. Okay, this is fundamental. 1 hour is what we call maintenance. Regardless of your skill level, you should try to sit 1 hour. If you can't sit in full lotus yet, the sitting 1 hour will train you to help you train to sit in full lotus. Okay, and that's the base. This is just maintenance of whatever level you are. Sitting 1 hour every day will energize you, will sustain your level, your skill level. Okay, it will not deteriorate. Okay, and then back then I was a lot more aggressive, so I tried to arrange my time so that on the weekends I would go for long sits. Okay, I would sit longer and longer and longer and longer on the weekends. Okay, so once a week basically. Okay, so depending on your schedule, the reason that you want to sit longer is because sitting longer brings to the surface your obstructions. It's very difficult to sit longer, okay? Think of it. The practical aspect is that we don't have time, okay? And then not only that, we don't have time is just one form of obstruction you're all going to have, okay? That will come at you to obstruct your spiritual practice, okay? Your spiritual practice is the basis for your well-being. This is Asian wisdom. Okay, the Westerners, they look at it as a physical exercise and so forth. Yes, physical exercise is very, very useful and very helpful. However, equally important, if not more, I happen to believe it's more important to do physical exercise, spiritual exercise through meditation. Okay. You want both. You want both spiritual exercises and physical exercises for balance. Okay, you cannot simply do physical exercise and you neglect your mind, and you cannot do only Chan meditation or spiritual exercise and neglect your physical side. Okay, that's not healthy either. So it's better to have some sort of balance. I'd say 75% spiritual, 25% physical. How is that? Something like that. Okay? But anyway, you will, as you try to sit longer, if you try to do that, you will run into issues, into problems. Okay? And those are called obstructions. And the obstructions arrive to stop you from sitting longer. And that's how you will help you progress faster. Okay, when you have obstructions, that's when you learn. You will really get help from us because we're experienced in doing this. When we teach meditation, the people who teach meditation are the ones who should be able to help you resolve your obstructions. Okay, that's our jobs. The instructor's job is to be able to recognize your obstructions and help you resolve them. So, for example, in academia, okay, in universities, you typically in a good university, a great university, you have to get a PhD before you're allowed to teach beginning level classes. Okay, so you see, that's the kind of relationship that we have as well. Our instructors are more or less PhD levels, and then they go back and teach beginners level. Okay, so there is some you need a certain kind of expertise, a certain kind of competence level before you're allowed to teach in our environment. Okay, so when you sit longer, you will encounter obstructions, both physical and spiritual. Okay, that's when you learn, and that's how you learn to deal with them. Okay, and that improvement comes, regardless of your level, improvement comes from learning how to deal with your obstructions. So the sooner more often you have obstructions, the faster you can learn how to solve them. And that's how you can improve a little bit faster. All right? Any other questions?
아까 진복 씨 질문한다고.
저 한 가지만 더 질문하겠습니다. 사실은 제가 간밤에 8시간을 앉았는데요.
언제요?
저녁에 아침에 풀었어요. 그랬는데 10시간도 할 수 있을 것 같은 이제 기분이었어요. 왜냐하면 처음엔 아팠는데 8시간쯤 되니까 2시간 더 할 수 있겠다 싶은 생각이 한편으로 들고 또 한편으로는 이건 너무 욕심내는 거 아니야? 그래서 잘못되는 거 아니야? 지나치게 욕심부리면 안 되는데 그런 마음이 갈등이 생기더라고요.
잠깐만요.
그래서
잠깐만요. 제가 메모할 게 없어. 한번 여기까지 끊고 해도 될까요?
네네.
Yeah. So she yesterday sat for 8 hours. And when she sat for 8 hours, she thought, I think I can do 2 more hours and do 10 hours. It seems very possible. But in the same time, she started conflict inside. Am I being too greedy? Am I being too greedy to sit longer? Is there any risk or I'm gonna have any problem? So she started feeling a little bit scared. So she stopped at 8 hours. 그런 다음에요?
So what's the
그래서 이거를 얼마나 더 오래, 얼마나 자주 앉는 것이 어떤 가이드라인 같은 게 있어야 되는가, 나한테 맞는 게 있어야 되는가, 그게 궁금해서 지금
So she started feeling curious if she has any personal guideline. What is going to be my optimal long sit?
Okay, there's no such a thing as optimal long sit. You sit longer. Okay, so when that's what happens. So one of the obstructions she has is she stops herself. Okay, so the lesson is don't listen to yourself. Okay, that's what happens. You learn to, when you do Chan meditation, not to listen to those thoughts that stop you from your spiritual practice. Okay? In particular, again, the Chinese wisdom is that you follow the instructions of the good knowing advisor. That comes first. Okay? You don't listen to yourself. You don't doubt the instructions. So the people who are able to, you just follow the instructions and you see why. Okay? Just like I did. I had to follow instructions. I just sat longer and longer and longer, and I had all kinds of problems that I had to figure out how to fix because my teacher was dead already. But at least I'm so grateful that he told me to sit longer and longer and longer and longer. So that's what I did. Okay, I sat longer and longer, and that's it. And then when the problems arise, I would continue to sit, and then until I figure out how to fix it. Okay, but I'm different from you because honestly, I have the blessings to be able to figure out my own problems. Okay, most of you will not be able to do that. That's why you have instructors, you have teachers that you can count on. Okay. All right. So that's what my late Chinese teacher did. Master YongHua gave us a framework from a Chinese wisdom on there, and they are our Asian heritage, their heritage that we are able to share with you and make sure that it doesn't get lost. Okay, and also reason number 3 for me to do this is that I'm only doing things that to show my gratitude to my late Chinese teacher. He made a prediction that in the future the Mahayana will flow back from United States back to the rest of the world, or back to Asia. So that's what we're doing. We're sharing back to you the ancient wisdom that's being ignored or unfortunately in the Asian cultures. So those are the things that we need to cherish and safeguard and utilize because those are the wisdom that are timeless, that will benefit future generations as well as our generation. All right. I see there's a question here on number 6.
Thank you, Master. So you were just talking about the environment, the location. So I have a question. So for instance, if I'm looking for apartments, apart from making sure that the location is far from hospital, cemetery, funeral homes.
Retirement homes as well.
Oh, retirement homes.
Do not hang around retirement homes.
All right. Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
It's a huge drain of energy, retirement homes. Okay. So those are the general guidelines. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yes, JMT.
입지씨 손 내려주셔요. 노란색 이모티콘. 그리고 저기 진복 씨 아까 질문 있다고 하실 건가요? So actually there is an outstanding question from Mr. Lee Jinbok.
Okay. Ask away. You have half.
Okay.
영어 마스터 감사합니다. 저 같은 경우는 지금 한 1년째, 아니 8개월 정도 1시간 이렇게 참선 정지를 하고 있습니다. 연한 스님이 지도를 잘해 주셔가지고. 근데
네,
지금
누구요?
연한 스님이요.
누구세요?
그래서 근데 의문이 생겼습니다.
So he's been cultivating about for 8 months since he came to the Jewel Mountain. Then he had a question.
아파야 된다고 말씀하시는데 내가 왜 아파야 되는지 그 이유를 모르겠어요.
He's been instructed to take the pain, and he doesn't know why he has to take the pain.
He has what, a pain?
He's instructed to take the pain and sit longer, but he doesn't understand why he has to take the pain.
Okay. Why? Because we like you to have pain. Okay. Are you afraid of pain?
통증에 두려움이 있으세요? 진복 씨 물어보시는데요, 스님이.
1시간을 꾸준히 한 8개월을 했습니다. 네.
He's been sitting 1 hour a day for 8 months, constantly.
근데 겁나게 아프거든요. 근데
It's so painful, damn painful.
Okay. So painful. Okay. So he's afraid of the pain.
그래서 아픈 게 무섭죠, 지금. 그런 건가요?
그래서 이거를 왜 제가 계속 아파야 되는지 그 이유를 모르겠어요.
I can understand why
그
I
이유를
have to
알아야 그
take the
고통을
pain.
견뎌내죠.
Okay.
그게 궁금합니다.
Okay.
I need to understand why I have to take it so that I can endure further.
Yes, I will be glad to explain to him why. After he tells me, is he afraid of the pain?
먼저
무서워요.
들었어요, 질문을? 진복 씨, 먼저 통증에 대한 두려움이 있는지를 말씀을 하셔야 그 다음에 설명해 주실 수 있대요.
무서운 거죠. 너무 힘든 거야. 너무 아픈 거예요. 그래서
Yes, I'm very afraid. So this is too hard for me.
Okay.
죽을 것 같아요.
It's so painful.
Why
I'm
is he afraid? Why?
왜
What is he
두렵냐면
afraid of? About the
뭐가
pain?
두렵냐? 통증에 대해서 뭐가 두렵고 왜 두렵냐?
참을 수가 없을 것 같아요.
He
내가 왜 참아야
feels,
되는지 이유를 모르겠어요.
he feels he can't take it. he feels he doesn't understand why he has to take the pain.
Okay. Enduring the pain will help him be healthier. Okay? It will heal. The more pain he endures, the healthier he'll become. That's first. Okay, that's the Chinese wisdom right there. Okay, and that very difficult for modern day people to understand. That's why even the Chinese reject that. They say it doesn't make sense to me. And this is why the Chinese teaching is very, very tough. They just tell you to do it. If you don't do it, you will never find out why. Okay. One of the major reasons for him in particular is that it will, the more he endures the pain, the stronger the qi will flow inside his body and will help him become healthier, number one. Number two, it help his legs become more flexible. Okay, remember earlier when I mentioned, I claim that in the future, top tier athletes will have to come to us is because I will teach them how to handle the pain themselves. Top athletes, whether you're a rower, whether you are a bicyclist, whether you're a runner, you all have to face the limit, your physical limit, which is physical pain. Your physical limit manifests itself in terms of pain. Okay? And that pain there, the way they train is that they learn to endure more pain, but there's no end to it. Okay? However, in Chan meditation, the first step we ask you to do is endure the pain first. Okay? And that process right there will help you become healthier. And eventually, you reach a level where you can overcome the pain. The pain is gone. Okay? That's another level of performance. Okay? If that can happen to the athletes, so can it happen to you. Meaning that the more he endures the pain, the healthier he become, and he'll get used to it. He'll be less fearful of the pain. Okay, and the less fearful of the pain, he'll be able to improve quicker. What happens right now is his fear of the pain is stopping him. It's obstructing his progress. Okay, so every day. Okay, I commend him for being able to commit himself to sit every day for 8 months now and face the pain. Okay, he should have brought it up to the instructor. And if that's the case, I would have, if I were the instructor, I would say, very good, and do more. Okay, and eventually is very beneficial. Okay. He will feel more energized. Every time he endures more pain than the last time, his endurance increases. His body is more flexible. He becomes less afraid of pain. Okay? And that's how he will, if he continues the progress, he will be able to overcome the fear of the pain. Okay? And this is a case where all of you, if you follow us, we understand you're not like us, where we are professionals. You're very tough. Our training is much harder than yours. Okay? Much, much harder. Yeah. And one of these days, I will ask Master Xianjie, the white, what we call our white hope here in America. He will tell you how tough his training is. Okay? For 10 years. Yes? Okay, and and we are merciless towards white people. That's our reputation. Okay? So anyway, I'm kidding. We love white people. But one of the reasons that I bring up Master Xianqie, one of my white disciples, is that fear is one of the reasons why you will continue to age quicker, die sooner, and you will not be able to have any real wisdom. So your wisdom can only open when you're able to conquer that fear. Okay, and the biggest level of wisdom, enlightenment, okay, is only achieved by completely destroying that fear that you have of the pain. Pain is only one exercise we use to help you conquer your fear. Any type of fear, you'll be able to conquer. Okay, so fear at the first level is can be trained, but actually preparation for you to go much higher. I promise. Okay, but meanwhile, if you have a problem with that, I definitely encourage you to come to Jewel Mountain and get some help from the abbot there. He can help you overcome the fear of pain, and in particular, cross over the first pain barrier a lot quicker. Okay, we have our people have all gone through. Those who survive that first test of fear of pain will progress very quickly. That's part of our foundation of Chan. You should feel so lucky. All of you should feel so lucky. Okay, and because I'm here, sitting here with you and sharing this information. The Chinese are much more brutal back then. In my master's era, you were afraid of pain, get out. You don't deserve to come back. Okay, so we're a lot more gentle, and we actually understand your limitations, and that's why we can help you overcome that fear of pain as you wish, because it's good for you. Okay, we like you to endure the pain because, again, it's very good for you. Do not be afraid, okay? None of you should be afraid of the pain because it's good for you. Any other questions? Okay, that's it. Question from JMT, go ahead.
하신대요.
영화 마스터 감사합니다. 저 문제를 알았어요. 두려움이라는 걸 내 문제를 알았습니다. 네, 열심히 하겠습니다.
He says, "Thank you, Master. Now I realize my own problem. I will try better, harder."
Yeah, don't worry. I assure you, the difficulty, the fear of the pain is common for almost everyone. You are brave enough to admit it, okay? But everyone is afraid of pain. I too was afraid of pain, okay? But I was able to overcome it. That's why a lot of our students are all afraid of pain. But that's why it's very useful. You see, remember we started by telling you sit longer. You sit longer, you come to face with that fear right there. I don't like the pain. I'm going to hurt myself. Okay, this doesn't make sense to me. I want to understand. Okay, those are typical obstructions you're going to have, and it's very simple. Ignore them. Sit longer, and if you can't, get help. Okay, It's that simple. Remember, the one thing about these Chan meditation is that, trust me, you cannot understand why we ask you to do certain things. Okay? If you understand everything, you don't need us anymore. Okay? If the instructions are not for you to understand, it's for you to do. Okay? Because eventually, the understanding comes from your wisdom, not from your thinking mind. Okay? We're going towards that. Go ahead. Another question?
스님이 장례식장이나 뭐 병원 이런 데를 피하라고 하셨는데 그 장소뿐만 아니라 혹시 사람도 병이 많거나 화가 많은 사람 근처에 오랜 시간 그 사람하고 같은 시간을 보내거나 그 물리적으로 오래 가까이 있는 것만으로도 안 좋은 영향이 올 수 있는지 그게 뭐 가족이면 어쩔 수 없지만 제가 뭐 선택할 수 있는 상황이 있을 경우에 그런 뭐 친밀한 관계가 있더라도 그 관계는 멀리하는 게 좋은지 그게 궁금합니다.
This is a question from YongHua. She says, Master mentioned that we should avoid going to or spending a lot of time at funeral home or graveyard. Her question is the same applying to somebody that has a lot of anger or a lot of illness? If you stay and spend a lot of time with this person with a lot of illness or a lot of anger, in case it's a family member, you can avoid it. But if you can have the choice, stay away from these people. Is it better to stay away from those people because maybe you get more influence of these people for long term?
Oh no. You are too smart. Would you like me to come up with a list of things people or places you should avoid? If I do that, you will never dare come out of your house or won't ever visit your parents again. Okay? No, don't worry about it. If people are sick and they're weak and they're old, it's a good thing to come and say hello to them and hold their hands and say, how are you today? Okay? It's okay. Don't be paranoid. Okay? Yes, it's true that you go near them, they drain you a little bit, but so what? You have Chan meditation. Let them drain you, come back to your car, sit, cross your legs, and recharge yourself. It only takes minutes. What are you afraid of? All those people, it's okay to approach them. When we advise you to stay away from places like cemeteries and funeral homes, in particular those two places, it's because they're infested with yin beings, ghosts and demons, and they're way beyond your ability to defend yourself. It's not safe for you to go to those places. Like I myself here don't dare go to places where it's not physically safe. So it's the same thing for you. You don't want to go to those places where it's not safe for you. Unlike you, I go to cemeteries and hospitals because they're scared of me. I'm not scared of them, but I'm scared of the physical people who don't like Asians here in the U.S. in particular. So you see, you have to exercise judgment and your judgment. In particular, just avoid those few places, and that's it. Otherwise, live normally. Don't avoid other people. It's not necessary. Actually, the opposite actually is better. When you see someone who's not feeling well, who's sick, your being there actually help them recharge. It's called kindness. It's okay to be kind to sick people. Okay? Just beware that when you're near these people, they will drain you, and when you feel you're too drained, get away and meditate for 10, 15 minutes, and you're back to normal. Don't be afraid. Okay? We do this so that we can give freely to those people. Okay? They don't even need to know. We give to society. We give to wherever we go. The reason we train these things because I want you to hopefully become better than before, so that you can benefit more of the people where you around you right now. Okay, that's what we do. We help people around us by improving ourselves. That's the first step that happens naturally. Okay, and then eventually when you get to higher levels, I mean 4th stage arhats or higher, then you'll be in a position where we train you more intensively and where you can really, really have the power to really benefit society. Okay? That's the next level. All right? So live freely. Don't be afraid. Okay? It's okay to take losses. Anything else?
We have a question from Mr. Ogi Young. He attended your 14 Chantin sewing back in 2019.
All right.
오기영 씨 이제 차례가 왔습니다. 질문해 주세요. 오기영 씨 음소거를 끄시고 질문해 주세요.
네, 질문할 기회를 주셔서 감사합니다.
조금 더 가까이 말씀해 주세요. 소리가 잘 안 들립니다.
네, 질문할 기회를 주셔서 감사합니다.
He's thankful for giving the chance to ask the question.
결과부자로 앉아서 단전에 집중하고 연볼해야 하는데 앉아서 연볼하지 않고 TV를 보거나 책을 읽거나 해도 진전이 있습니까?
He says, we instruct to sit in full lotus and recite the Buddha's name. When he's watching TV or laying down, if he keeps reciting Buddha's name, that also help him to improve?
Yes. Okay, it's more than that, but it would be helpful for him to reduce his outflows. Improvement is another matter where it's a lot more, and it has to do with the instructor's skill level, okay, that we don't explain to you. You're not an instructor, so we don't teach you those things. You just follow instructions, okay? And you have any issues, contact the instructors. They can help you resolve those things, okay? And not just only must you do those things, but make time to try to sit longer. Very simple, sit longer, and just sit longer and longer, okay? And if possible, those of you there should go to the way places near you so that you can benefit from direct instructions on your particular obstructions. Okay? What happens in terms of progress is basically knowing how to resolve what's stopping you. Either you go through it, steamroll it through it, or you go around it. Okay? Or much higher level, you fly over it. Or you go under it. So there's so many ways you can learn how to do that. But that's the advanced level. It's different. Okay. All right. Yes, number 6.
Thank you, Master. I'm asking a question on behalf of Jane. So it's a continuation of the my last question. Master talked about staying away from certain places. So Jane asked, what about locations with lots of youth? Do kindergartens? I don't think that's a good idea. And university provide influx of energy.
Lots of places like what? I'm sorry.
Oh, places with lots of youth. Like
Youth?
youth, yes. Kids.
Kids.
Or teenagers.
Yeah.
Do kindergartens and university provide influx of energy?
What about influx of energy? I still don't.
I think she meant the staying around the area of kindergartens or the university towns. Does these places have good energy?
Have a what energy?
Oh, have good energy.
Have good energy.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. I remember living in some dorms in the universities, and I love it because we get to try, let me see, those things. And those are not necessarily good energy, but they're fun energy. Never mind. I'm sorry. You Asians are very serious. We cannot joke around you. No. The list is very short. You can go anywhere you please. Don't be afraid to go anywhere. Okay. When you see kids, go near them. It's okay. You see college kids and so forth. It's okay. Remember, Jane? Remember when Lang Fang's kid was screaming his lungs off, and you were there? I taught all of you how to deal with it. Remember where the kids actually has a little bit of a ghost that misbehaves in our temple. So he's screaming and interrupting our Dharma talk. So I showed all of you how to suck the energy of that ghost out, so that it's a very gentle way of telling the ghost that we are the boss. He's not. So you see, you shouldn't be afraid to go anywhere or face anyone. Okay, that's how we learn. So no, don't worry about this. Please don't be so obsessed. I'm just telling you about, I cannot give you a full list of everything, but just be aware of the general places that are not good for you and stay away from them. Okay, whereas just go and have no fear. And you run into problems, and then you will be taught how to deal with them. What's the worry? Have no worries. Okay? All right. Anyone else? Don't be so obsessed with, I don't want to get in trouble. Life is trouble, whether you like it or not. You go home and you face your husband, that's trouble right there. Okay? Like it or not. Yes, number 8.
Master, does the previous instruction that sucking the angry energy out of the baby only works for the temple environment, or is it okay if I can do that with my boss?
Yeah, you can do it with anyone. I showed to you, but the way I taught you is very gentle, so that unless you pay attention, no one's gonna know. That's why we will do it, because otherwise they will bother you constantly. Say, can you come and help me deal with this anger person? Suck his energy for me. That's what they're gonna ask you all the time. And how are you gonna live and normally and work if people keep harassing you like that? I just taught you a small trick to show you how fun it is, how fun it could be. You don't need to get up very high up there. I told you earlier, like the archers, that Ansan can stand behind the kid there, and the kid was focusing like this, and she was also focusing with him. So now two people were shooting the arrow, not just one. So it's not fair competition, you ask me. Okay? If I were the opponent, the opposing team, it happened to be my disciple, I would stop that. I will only let the guy shoot, but I will not let her help him. You see, it's so much fun when you learn to do these things. When you understand about energy and concentration and all those things, you see how fascinating of the world that is. It's a lot of fun. Okay, no, don't do that. I just did that to show you that what we can do to help a kid who needs help. Okay, that's it. But don't go and meddling in other people's anger and whatever. It's none of your business. What are you doing? Learning these tricks and go out and show off. You're no different from the other non-Buddhist practices where I know these tricks. I suck energy from you and so forth. It's totally nonsense. Okay. You're not impressing me. I guarantee you that. And you keep on doing that, you are only hurting yourself under my eyes because you're so small. You're caught up in all these small things. There's these trying to impress people, trying to help people on small things. Yes.
No, Master. He just come yell at me. I just try not to get that angry out.
You can't. Who says you can't? What kind of nonsense are you talking about? You can't deal with the anger is way beyond you. That's why I don't like to teach you so many tricks at all, because you guys keep on abusing them and think it's a cool thing to do. You can't handle those things. I tell you, when I tell you there's some consequences, when I suck the energy from that ghost right there to help the kid, I know that the ghost will keep on misbehaving and keep on sucking him for a few times, and after that, at lunch, I lost my appetite. There's a price you have to pay. Everything tasted so bad. At lunch, I didn't feel like eating at all. Okay, so when you suck that energy, the kid, by the way, for you people, the kid is like sitting like, I don't know, 10 feet away and suck it. And it came to me, so now it became me. I didn't have time to process it. Okay, so there's a lot more involved than you think. I'm just playing with the kid and showing you little tricks to tell you that once you understand, there's a lot more going on and we care to tell you. Go ahead, question.
So we have question from JMT and one from Chun Yeonjin.
Just right as soon as time is up, there's more question from JMT.
Right. I think 천연 씨가 더 들렸나요? 한번 해볼까요?
네, 제가 영화 선사에게 바로 그냥 질문 드릴게요.
네.
Hello, Master. I am Yeonjin from Korea, and I'm studying psychology.
Okay.
And these days, psychologists are very into the meditation.
Yes.
And there is a lot of universities there, which are studying what is the effect of the meditation and what is the and they're about to prove it in a scientific way. So, and you said as well in the as you said before the Olympic, you said there will be more of the athletes who would like to learn the meditation and improve their skills. So I would like to ask you, can you tell me whether there is a good institute that can teach the right meditation for the general people? Because a lot of people ask me how to do the meditation, and since I am learning meditation now, but they are kind of frustrating to do the folding their legs.
Yes.
So could you tell there is a good way of doing the meditation other than this?
Yes. Okay. Fair question. I open the can of worms myself, so I better address it. Okay. The current state of meditation training from the psychologists and from the educational institutions is Hinayana meditation. They more focus on breathing, on mindfulness, and all those things. Okay, and that's why I classify them to be Hinayana meditation. Chan meditation is far more advanced. Okay, and there's really no good place for training Chan right now, unfortunately. Where are you?
I am in Korea.
You're in Korea. Okay, I'm going to offend some people. There's really no good places in Korea to learn Chan meditation except for JMT. Okay, it's because frankly, it's because the teacher must be skilled enough to be able to train you. Okay, if you learn meditation and all you're learning is mindfulness and breathing and kindness and compassion contemplation or purity contemplation, all those, or mantras and so forth, all those are basically Hinayana level because the teacher is a Hinayana level. Okay, we can only teach you what we know. That's the bottom line. Same thing with you. It's premature for you to teach meditation because your level is too low. You cannot solve your students' problems, your students' obstructions. You see? So that's why I said the current athletes, the top athletes, their level is all similar. For example, I saw this tennis champion here, the current number 1 in the world. He used to be number 2, Diana, now is to number 3. Okay, but that's it. He's been number 3. That's it. There's no more. There's no more because his sports psychologists don't know how to get beyond that. Okay, they never built the foundations. For example, the gentleman who asked me earlier about why do I need to face the leg pains, I hate it because part of the foundation for him to progress way beyond the sports psychologists can help you, or the Hinayana people can help you, is that to get rid of that fear of pain. If you don't have that foundation, it's very difficult for him to progress. Okay, so right now the way the psychologists and those people are training, Hinayana people are training, is that they allow you to harbor that fear, secret fear of pain. And that's why that's a limitation right there. Okay, so to answer your question, if you really want to teach meditation, I think it's premature for you. You don't have the skills to teach meditation. And the only real place where you can learn meditation in Korea is go to Jewel Mountain Temple, and you'll find that you follow their instructions there, you progress a lot quicker. It's about 10 times, 100 times faster, and you go a lot further because you learn the proper the proper perspective. Okay, it's people don't say this, but when you learn, when you go and choose, when you decide to choose a university, okay, people look at the level of classes you can offer, right? They can go, whether it's master's degree, PhD, and so forth, right? And before they sign up for it, because you know how far you can go in terms of education. That's number one. Yes? Number two, you also look at the instructors there, the teachers there. Okay? I chose my university for my master's degree because in finance, the instructor there is actually top of the world, one of the top in finance professors in the world. So that's why I went there. You see, so you people base their decision on where to learn by how far it goes. Okay. So in Hinayana, they don't go far enough, in my opinion. And number two, they don't have the skill set to train them properly. That's why people always level off, okay, to where they are right now, whether it's archers from South Korea or a tennis player from Europe and so forth, because that's always the maximum level of concentration they can attain. And eventually, when they all get that level to the top, one of these smart top athletes will say, I need to go further because physically I cannot go any faster, but my mind can. Okay? So your reaction is faster. Your body, the muscles are the same, but your mind is faster. That's why you become faster, you become stronger. Okay? With your mind. So that's what eventually the top athletes of the world will realize that, and they have to come to Chan meditation. They cannot stick with the sports psychologists. This is Hinayana meditation. Okay? Was there another question?
Yes, Master, we have a question from Churro Mountain Temple.
Yes.
보산사에서
네, 마스터. 제 업무상 사람들을 만날 일이 많은데, 이제 미팅을 하다 보면 이제 두통이 있을 때가 있습니다. 그래서 이제 그 미팅을 끝나고 나면 이제 결과부자를 하고 나면 두통이 없어질 때가 있는데, 최근에는 미팅을 할 때 두통이 아니라 약간 어지러운 증상이 있었고, 그 뒤로는 그 결과부자를 해도 그 증상이 오랫동안 사라지지 않는 것을 겪었습니다. 저는 이제 수행과 일에도 균형을 좀 찾고 싶은데요. 어떻게 해야 되는지 답을 주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
So this is Musang's question, Chumi's husband. Recently, he started having headaches when he meet people. Since he has to work in a company, he often has to have a meeting with a lot of people. So when he have the meeting with people, he experiences headache. So after the meeting, he goes back to his office and he crosses his legs. He gets better. But recently,
Recently?
Sorry.
Recently?
Lately, he's not having the headaches. He's feeling dizziness when he has a meeting with people. And then when he goes back and crosses his leg, the dizziness is not going away. Sorry?
It's not going away.
It doesn't go away. It's not going away. So the dizziness stays with him. So he would like to know if there is a way to balance his spiritual life and his worldly life, such as working in the office.
It sounds like he's blaming us for his headaches and his dizziness recently. Okay. I don't know. He better consult his wife. How do you deal with dizziness? Just sit longer until it goes away. It's just like he expects it to go away right away. It's just the wrong approach. When you're dizzy, when you have a headache, you know you have a skill. Cross your legs, it will go away in time, period. Okay? So that's all you have to do. And if it sits longer and it still doesn't go away, then there's a much more serious problem that he's going to need help with. Okay? However, for example, I give you an example of since we have a therapist, student of psychology, who seems to be interested. Okay, I bring you back to the sports world where it's a lot more going on. You think it's not simply concentration, but also in therapy, you're going to have people who have, for example, in the athletes that have depression, or in case of Simone Biles, the girl who had problems. Those are the problems way beyond concentration. Now you therapist people need to deal with these mental issues that is way beyond concentration, way beyond meditation. And that's when in those cases, unfortunately, only us who are trained at a higher level, reach high level, will be able to help them. Even the Hinayana people cannot. And many of my students are arhats and so forth. They are not qualified to help these people. They don't have enough to help these people. So you see, so child meditation goes very, very high, depending on how ambitious, how committed you are to open your wisdom and develop the skills to help yourself to fend off these mental illness, and then be able to help others who have mental illness like that. Okay, so it's unfortunate that you go into mental illness issues like bipolar people, depression, manic people. They need help. Wow, that's way beyond the psychotherapy. Okay. All right. Anything else? We are way over time. Jewel Mountain, last question. And the rest we can wait till next time. Go ahead.
네, 지난주에 제가 수행이 집에서 잘 안 된다고 말씀을 드렸을 때 수행의 동기를 다시 생각해 보라고 하셔서 이제 동기를 돌아봤는데요. 그동안 제 수행의 여러 동기 중에 가장 큰 이유가 남편에 대한 어려움이었었거든요. 그런데 최근에 들어서 더욱 남편이 더 잘해주고 약사 위패를 올리고 보산사에 꾸준히 다닌 이후로부터 남편에 대한 어려움이 남편이 더 이상 어렵지 않게 되어서 제가 이제 거기에 대해서 수행의 동기가 더 이상 없어져서 좀 나태해졌나 하는 거를 알게 되었습니다. 그래서 그 점에 대해서 여기 계신 스님들과 마스터께 깊이 감사드리고요.
잠깐 끊고 해도 돼요? 너무 저 노트를 못. So Bruce asked you the question last time that her motivation to cultivate has been reduced, and then after Master answered her to consider why she needs to cultivate, she thought about it, and then she realized her most motivation comes from her difficulty rising from her relationship with her husband. But since she regularly comes to the temple and meditate more, request the medicine plan for the husband is treating her a lot better than before, and their relationship has improved. So she doesn't feel the husband is as difficult anymore. So she is deeply thankful about all this improvement in her life.
Yeah, stop meditation then.
그냥 병사 그만하래요 이제. 계속 질문해 보세요.
아, 네. 그건 안 되고요. 무슨.
She says that's not that's not possible. She can't stop.
Well, it's not just the dealing with the husbands, but also with yourself. You have to maintain your health and also learn to become a better person. Okay, I find that meditation is useful for practical reasons. It also makes life more fun. It's a richer life. Okay, so she should not motivate herself because of the husband alone. It should be that she can be a better person. And when she's a better person, she'll be a better mother, she'll be a better wife, and she'll be a better person overall for society. Okay? To me, we have the responsibility. Now you're exposed to Chan. I assure you that you should motivate yourself to practice Chan more seriously, because you are then able to develop skills to benefit more of the people around you. Okay? That's fun. That's part of the fun of life, is to become a better person first. Okay?
네, 스님. 그게 제가 정말로 원하는 바이고요. 그래서 제가 지금 어려움은 제가자로서 항상 수행에 최선을 다하면서도 제가자로서 가정에서나 밖에서나 최선을 다하고 싶은데요. 항상 그거를 양립하는데 어려움을 느끼는데 여기에 대해서 조언해 주실 수 있으실까요?
What Master just spoke is what she sincerely wants to improve, to be a better person, but always going back to her home and then be the lay person she's supposed to, and then come to the temple and try to cultivate, find it difficult to coexist as a worldly person and cultivate at the same time. Is there any advice you can provide?
You have to try harder. That's all. The difficulties is a good sign. It's supposed to be difficult. You're supposed to learn to overcome those obstructions. Okay, and the one motivation that you should consider is that since you're a mother, you should look at your children. If you become a better person, then you will give so much. You can give so much more to your children, the way your own mother could not give you. Okay, it's about basically she needs to find the need, decide on if she has a real need to improve. She will find a way to improve. You find a way to find more time, to arrange for time and so forth. But if she has no real need to improve, then it's all talk. Okay, if there's real need, you will find a way to make time for it. If you don't see the need for it, then it's very difficult to continue. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to wait until the right time to do more of it. Okay, just be aware that the more difficult it is, that's the nature of the Chan practice. It's supposed to be difficult. It's supposed to be challenging. Then that's how you continue to progress a lot quicker. If it's simple, it's pleasant, it is effortless, then it's not Chan at all. Chan is difficult. Chan is constantly being aware of your obstruction, whether it's a headache, whether it's dizziness, whatever. That's an obstruction. You keep at it until you fix it, until you figure it out. Okay, that's how you make progress. Okay, so in her case in particular, she finds she has no time. Then to me, it seems to be that the real problem is she really doesn't have the need to improve. That's why I advise her, take it easy, don't meditate anymore for a while and see what's going to happen to her. She will feel lack of energy. She feels so drained by her children and so forth, and say, oh my God, I better get back to meditation because I have a need to. That's all. Okay? Okay, since it's so quiet and peaceful, we'll end it here on such a good note of peace and quiet to the world. Thank you all. We'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.